Hi. What a journey it's been, right? This is something that I wanted to get up here sooner, but as you know, if you do know, sometimes it's not always the case. Sometimes we don't always get things done like we want, but I digress. And before I go any further, if you don't already know who I am, my name is Tammy, and I am the founder and admin of Warriors for Life 2024. It is a Facebook community that I created back in 2021. Yes, that's correct. And I'm very proud of it. I've met so many amazing people. But we'll get to that later on. And this is my channel. This is a channel of mine that I created years ago and didn't have a clue on what to do with it. And then it's gone through some up and down situations last year, but this year I revived it and I'm back. And I am going to share with you my journey and hopefully share with you some of my warriors' journeys as well. My journey with CRPS, and for you that may not know what CRPS means or stands for, it stands for Complex Regional Pain Syndrome. And there are some things that I have read or heard over the years of having this that I don't particularly agree with, because I am not only a person that is sharing my journey with you all, I'm also advocating for not just myself, but for all of my warriors in our community on Facebook and anywhere else I possibly can. I have battled this crippling and horrific disease since 2014. And my life has been a whirlwind since. I've learned a lot. I have had my share of doctors who had no clue. And I can honestly say, in the years of having this, I have only found strength and answers and encouragement in 3 areas of my medical life. When you are a person that is diagnosed with a disease that you yourself knows nothing about or has ever heard of, it is very scary. You have no clue to what it is, when it will go away, how you got it. Is it something that could kill you? Is it contagious? Like, you don't know. And when you have doctors that are forthcoming and honest and take that oath so seriously, do no harm, it makes your situation just a wee bit easier. When I was diagnosed, the reason for developing it, let me go back a little bit here, was it was a work injury. I've had a lot of people ask me this, that, and the other, or give me their ideas on why I got it. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. There are a lot of still mysterious things that come with this. That's why it's so complex, because CRPS doesn't play by any rules whatsoever. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I do have the TV on. Let me turn it down just a smidge more. CRPS doesn't play by rules. It doesn't have to. It's not going to. So mine was due to a work injury. And over the years, it has consumed my whole right side from top of the head to the tip of my toes. And it is now spreading on my left side. Because of CRPS, I do have a deformity. Some people call it drop foot. Some people call it ballerina foot. I call it hell on earth, but you can call it whatever you like. Oh, yeah. Disclaimer. I'm blunt, and I say what I need to say. So, you know, it is taking its toll on my body. Also, too, you have to understand, CRPS is not just about pain. There's so much more to it than that. And again, this is why it's so complex. Also, too, there are rarities within the disease. I've heard a lot of people say how rare CRPS is. The sad truth is it's not rare at all. It's been around since the 1800s. And when we did some research within my community, we actually found there were a few cases in Spain back in the 1700s. We know that it happens more so in women than men. Again, a mystery. We don't know why. We do know that there are 3 different ways, or a few ways. One is trauma to the body, and that could be a number of different things. Surgery, torn ligaments, bad sprain, broken bone, and then there are no reasons at all. There are 2 types, type 1 and type 2. And I'm going to get them backwards, I usually do. So my CRPS community out there, you can comment in the comments below and correct me if you need to. Type 1 and type 2. One is obvious nerve damage, and type 2 is they're not saying that there isn't, but they can't find it. So basically, with that being said, CRPS is a disease that lives within the nervous system. And I know a lot of people get up here and they use all these big fancy medical terms to explain their disability and CRPS and how it starts and where it lives. I don't. There's no need for big words. So I break it down in layman's terms. I break it down to where people can actually understand what I'm saying. I am a metaphorical type person. I'm a visionary, if you will. So there will be times where I will explain something in terms where everybody can maybe get it. And when they hear it, they're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be. But I am a person that's lived with this disease for 10 years. I am a person that took my doctor's word to heart when he told me that I needed to educate myself, that I needed to read everything I could possibly get a hold of so I could understand what can, what will, and what probably will happen or could happen. I've done 2 studies with U of M, which if you're new to CRPS, that's where you're going to find a lot of your answers. You're going to be able to educate yourself by reading studies. And about 85 to 90% of those studies that are done by people like myself. It's information that we give. It's a licensed person that comes in and they will ask you questions. They will take down your information. So about half, if not more, of the studies that you will read will be information that was given to them by people like me. The other half are going to be done by doctors who, like my amazing medical team, they study the nervous system, they study CRPS, they want to understand it, they're trying to discover why this happens. Is there a cure? No, there's not. I have met, like I said earlier, I have met some amazing people within our community on Facebook that live with this horrific disease. And I will tell you, creating that community was not an easy choice for me at all. I was scared to death. I had never heard of CRPS. I had never been around anybody who had it. In fact, when I was diagnosed, and I will remember this day for as long as I live, it's like it happened yesterday, and I relive the words in my head all the time. And to find out that your life is going to change and there's nothing you can do to stop it is very scary. But the day I was diagnosed, I'll never forget it. As I had mentioned earlier, mine was a work injury, and mine was initially not the knee itself, but behind the knee into my calf, into going to the back of my calf there. I like to call it the armpit of my knee. I felt a pull and a pop, and it was a work-related injury, so I was at work when it happened. They sent me to Concentra. The doctors examined me, gave me a knee brace and crutches and some ibuprofen and said, go home and, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okie dokie then. So I did that. I did exactly what he said. I went home, and about a week and a half afterwards, I noticed some really weird stuff going on with my leg that was in no relation of my knee whatsoever. And I kept an eye on it. I took pictures. Oh my gosh. And I'm always telling my newborns, and I call my newborns are ones that have just been diagnosed or have had it maybe 2 years and under, because the first 3 years of this diagnosis is the hardest. Does it get any easier? Of course not, but you get smarter and wiser. And so I was picture happy. I was taking pictures all the time, the different things that were going on with my leg and this, that, and the other. And so when I went back for my 2-week checkup, because again, it was a work-related injury, and they give you those 2 weeks to give you time to heal, to see if it's going to be okay for you to come back. When I went back, by the grace of God, I had just about every symptom I had seen just a week and a half before that. And so when I showed him my leg, he looked at me and said, you have CRPS. And my daughter took me. It's on my right side, so I was unable to drive. My daughter took me, and she was sitting in the room with me, and I looked at him and I said, okay, well, when will it clear up so I can go back to work? And he gave me the most oddest look that a doctor's ever given me. And he says, I don't think you're quite understanding. And I'm just like looking at him, because at this point, when a doctor tells you that, you're getting a little worried. You're getting a little freaked out. And he explained to me that I wasn't going to be going back to work, and that I had a long and bumpy road ahead of me, and that I needed to go home, read, educate, and learn and understand what it was I was about to deal with for the rest of my life. Well, I can tell you this. He was not wrong. As time progressed, as the weeks went on and the months went on, a lot of changes started happening with my foot, my ankle, my leg. And I will tell you, it's not just about the pain, it's about the deformity. It's about everything that comes with CRPS. When someone says, what is CRPS? And you tell them complex regional pain syndrome, what is the only thing they recognize in that sentence? What is the only thing that stands out to them when you tell them that? Pain. The name does not give it justice. And nobody wants to give credit or justice to such a horrific disease. However, the name is not suitable for the situation. Yeah, we're in pain. I'm in pain right now talking to y'all. In fact, what time is it? Because I have a dosage coming up here soon. I can't see the time. Hold on a second. Let me see. Can I? Hold on, guys. I'm trying to see the time. And I can't see the time with you guys up here. Saddy. Your body will tell you over time that it's getting close. But anyway, the name, it does not give it justice whatsoever. There's a lot that comes with CRPS. The first two things that I noticed was the temperature change in my limb and how hypersensitive I was to touching it. So hypersensitivity is a huge thing. This is why in my community I talk, and we will talk about this as we go on here too. But one of the biggest things that I talk about is desensitizing. And there's still a lot out there that refuse to do it. I will tell you this right now, this is not a disease for the weak. This is not a disability that just anybody can handle. You got to be strong. You got to be strong-willed. You got to be stubborn. You have to be a person that still wants to live their best life in order to survive this. There's a lot that comes with it, and oddly and strangely enough, not all of us are the same. We may have similarities when it comes to symptoms, but not all of us are the same with this, and that's why it's so hard to find a cure. I hope one day that they have one, but unlike so many other health conditions and diseases, we're not paper cut. We're not cookie cut. We're not, there's not any of us the same. And, you know, with other health issues, there are ways of diagnosing people, but treating them medically the same way to fix the problem, so to speak. You can't do that with us. And I don't like to use that C word. My community understands that and they know it because I believe strongly in them. And I know that they can live their best life once they learn to coexist with their disability. And coming to terms with being a disabled person is not easy, especially if you are a person like myself who was very outdoorsy, who was very active, was always on the go, raising her kids, loving life, just eating it up and enjoying every minute of it. To be told literally overnight that your life is about to change and you can't stop it is scary and lonely. A lot of my warriors, I understand them because I know what it's like to go through what they're going through. You have people that turn their back on you. You have doctors that don't believe you. You have, you know, just rudeness and unnecessary comments that are made. This is not a disease that anybody ever would ask for. And this isn't something that I ever foreseen in my future. I never even heard of it before. I'd never been around anybody with it before. And I'm very passionate about our community, and I'm very passionate about advocacy because I have been compared to fibromyalgia and other things that are with the nerve, centered around the nervous, your nerves and that. And we get mislabeled a lot. We get pushed down. And that is why, if you recall, I mentioned rare a bit ago. We're not rare. We're only rare because nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to understand. Nobody wants to learn. Nobody is asking questions. That's why we're rare. We're not talked about. We get a 30-day month that nobody even knows about. We celebrate November, that is Awareness Month for CRPS, but I also have instilled it in my warriors that we celebrate 365 because we live with it 365. It doesn't go away after 30 days, and I don't feel like 30 days is enough. I don't feel like 30 days is enough for people to understand and learn and listen and want to know. I don't feel like 30 days is enough. That's a slap in the face to us, because I will tell you why. I get so passionate about it because we get pushed down. We get ignored. We get told it's all in our head. There are doctors out there that don't even know what it is. I myself over the years have had to explain it to nurses and doctors what it is. I shouldn't have to do that. I've had to explain it to my eye doctors. I've had to explain it to my dentist. I've had to explain it to my primary care doctors. There were times I've gone to the hospitals or doctors with my daughters, and I'm walking with my assistant, my wheelchair or my walker or cane, and I have them asking me what's wrong, and I tell them, and then they come back with a follow-up question, which blows me out of the water every time it happens. I'm a very passionate person, and if you follow my journey and listen to me and watch my videos, you will learn that very quickly. I'm very passionate about my beliefs. I'm very passionate about my faith. I'm very passionate about this horrific disease that I live with every day, and so many like myself. I'm very passionate about us getting the recognition that we deserve, and going into a doctor and not having to explain to them, the person who went to medical college and school and all that for however long. I've lived with it for 10 years, and I know more about it than most doctors do. There are good doctors out there, and I've only had maybe not even a handful. The one that diagnosed me, he was very forthcoming, very honest. He took that oath to heart, do no harm. And I feel like when you have a person that is being told not to worry, don't read, don't educate, when you have doctors that are telling you it's all in your head, that you're making it up, that's doing harm. When you are withholding vital information from that person who is now have to live with this devastating disease day in and day out with no relief, where the pain never stops, where our body goes through so many changes, and a lot of them all at once, you are doing harm, and you should not be in the medical field of any kind. When you are withholding vital information, you are an ass. Yep, I said it. Bleep me out, whatever you got to do. But you should not be a doctor of any kind. The doctor that diagnosed me was an amazing doctor, and I wish I could thank him today, because he didn't withhold anything back. He told me what I needed to know. He told me what I needed to do, and I did just that. My medical team that I didn't get until my second year, they are amazing, and I've had them ever since. I am on constant doctor's care. We all are. 3 times a day, and most of us do. And outside of medication, I have treatments done. These treatments are not a cure. They are simply to help me get through, to cope for a few months at a time. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. My doctors have never, promised me anything. I go in having these treatments done with the understanding that it may not work. Doctors that promise their patients that they are going to cure them, that by putting devices in their bodies is going to make it go away, you should never be promising your patients anything. Because the life itself, the very life that you live every day is in God's hands. And He is the only one that knows when, where, or how it will work. So for doctors out there that are promising their patients that they're going to fix them, that they're going to cure them, that they're going to go back living their normal lives once these devices are put in them, shame on you. I've had the offer brought to the table and I've rejected it because I did my homework on it. My doctor gave me homework on this device. And at the end of the day, it was my choice, and I chose not to. I choose no, because I'm already limited on what I can do throughout the day, every day. And I don't want more limitations put on my life. The treatments I get, they're working for now. But when the time comes that they no longer are working, then my doctor and I, we will sit down and we will discuss other options. I've had warriors from my community come to me and share their horrific stories with our community about how the doctor said that it was going to work, that it was going to fix them, that it was going to make it go away, only to have the worst outcome of their lifetime by having to have these devices removed because they were doing more harm than good. Now again, it's free choice. Your choice. You choose at the end of the day what you decide to do with your doctor and your body. I am by no means trying to discourage anybody, because you want relief. You want to find something that works. What angers me is these doctors that promise you. No doctor should be promising anybody anything. They're not God. They don't have a magic wand. And if they are promising you things, you should question them. As I said, I get not only medication 3 times a day, but I am on treatments that I get as well. And I get 3 different types of treatments. I get trigger point, I get sympathetic nerve block, and I get a spinal cord injection. Because, like I said earlier, my CRPS has spread my entire right side. And now it is starting to affect my left. I pray to God that my other foot doesn't do what my right foot did, because if that happens, I will be wheelchair bound. And because of the way I've been walking for 10 years, my whole body has shifted. And now I have neck problems, and I have scoliosis in the lower part of my back due to the way I walk. So not only do I live with the pain of the CRPS, but I also live with the pain of my neck and the issues I have there, and the pain that goes down into my arm, and then the very bad back pain I get a lot, especially if I have overly used my spoons. Not only does CRPS play a physical toll on your body, but it also plays an emotional and mental toll. There's a lot of things that come with it. You have brain fog, you have memory problems, you have memory loss, short-term, long-term. You have speech impediment, you have You can be talking and completely forget the words. You see them, you know what they are, but they just won't come out. There will be times where you're talking and everything comes out backwards. Meaning you could say a sentence and those words in that sentence will be all mixed up. And you're trying to stop it, but it doesn't stop. It just goes. Brain fog. The best way I can explain brain fog, again, like I mentioned earlier, I am a metaphorical type of person. So I will compare things to things so people understand it better. Imagine if you were walking in the woods and you were in very dense, thick fog, and all you could see is white. And in the shadows, you might be a glimpse of the trees as you're walking through this fog. That's brain fog. That is what I see on most days. And when that happens, it's very confusing, frustrating. We get frustrated very easily. We get confused very easily. Like I said, there's times where we'll be talking and we're trying to remember the word. And now does it mess with all that? But our senses can be flared up as well, meaning sound can be very loud. And when that happens, you have constant buzzing. Sometimes it sounds like white noise. Today, mine is a very high-pitched siren. And it sounds like it's in the background, but I can hear it. I don't know what's worse, that or the white noise. Sometimes I have both. And sound can be very, it can be to the point where it hurts my ears because it sounds so loud. Nose, there are days where I can smell everything to the point where I can tell you every ingredient that is in that food you're about to eat. And it's too overwhelming and I can't do it. Taste, there's times where, again, everything just tastes very overwhelming. We can get nauseous for no reason. That can last anywhere from a few minutes to days. We can have vomiting for no reason. And I've had that. It's like you're fine and all of a sudden someone flips on a light and you are in the toilet. That can last anywhere from a few minutes to a few days. And you can have both. So I've had all three. I have found ways of helping with that. We have warriors that have to go and have tubes implanted for nausea. We have had warriors where they've had nausea pills prescribed. So that's a thing. It happens, and there's no reason for it to happen. Body temperature. Uncontrollable body temperature, where you can all of a sudden feel like you literally just stepped out of an oven. You are so overheated that your body is literally dripping sweat. And then you can have it to where you are hot, but you have cold chills. I have this new symptom now where my legs, both of them, because like I said, it's starting to affect my left side now. Feels like I'm being held in, like someone's holding me up and they're dipping me and holding me in ice water. Where my blankets don't even help. Like right now, my legs are doing that. So I'm going to show you what I do when that happens. I have my heating pad, which is one of my very best friends. And in order to get my legs to feel somewhat normal, I'm going to put this on high. And I'm just going to wrap it, because it's usually the upper portion, my thighs. into my knees, my hips, that it really feels it the most. I mean, I feel it down into my leg as well, but right here it's really the worst. And I may have to take off my sweater because now I'm getting hot. My face, it always starts in my face. You see how red my face just got? It always starts in my face first, and then it just kind of works its way down into, like if you were to put your hand right here on me, it might burn you. That's how hot it is. You can literally feel the heat coming off the blankets. It's uncontrollable body temperature. There's times where I live in Michigan, mind you, and there's times where I will step outside with no coat on because I'm overheated. And my honey has said, aren't you cold? And I'm like, oh God, no, this feels great. So there's a lot of things that go with this, and I could go on and on and on. I don't want to make these videos too long though. But I really hope that today you got to know me a little bit. Again, I can make this video go on forever, but we're not going to do that. I will be up here every week. I look forward to your comments. I look forward to hearing from other warriors out there. I wanna know and understand, and I want others to know and understand. We deserve to be heard. We deserve to be understood. We deserve to be acknowledged. And for anyone out there, especially in the medical field, if you are a doctor of any kind that has ever told your patient it is all in their head, shame on you. I'm calling you out. You are a piece of scum. This is not in our head. We were healthy, vibrant, happy people who had lives. And anybody that would make up some of the symptoms that you hear, you're like, what? Really? And how odd that there's so many people like myself who have similarities, but we must have all gotten together and decided to pull this very large, cruel joke. Because I have people from the UK, I have people from Canada, I have people from around the world in my community that are just being diagnosed or they have suffered with it for years. It's not in our head. It's real. And my medical team that I now have are amazing. My therapist is amazing. We will talk about that next time. But I hope that I hear from my warriors out there. Share your stories with me. Don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to. By sharing your story, you may be helping another warrior that you never even knew. You could create friendships and create a community of people that will be there for you, because I will tell you, and another topic we will also talk about is having an amazing support team. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This isn't some cruel prank that we made up. Like I said, I've never heard of it. I've never been around anybody who had it. And to be told that my life was going to be changing forever was the most scariest thing that I have ever had to go through. And a lot of it, I went through it alone. And I had to fight to be heard. And I'm still fighting to be heard. And I'm not just fighting for me, but I'm fighting for every single warrior out there who doesn't have a voice, or maybe has tried to use their voice, but nobody is listening. I will continue to fight because this is my life's purpose. And I will continue to fight until I'm no longer able. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this video. And I love you all. Remember, you're not alone. I am here. You can find us on Facebook, Warriors CRPS Warriors for Life 2024. Just answer a few questions and you can become a member of a community that's going to be there for you. So keep this in mind, okay? And I will see you guys all again very soon. Remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other videos that are brought to you. And like and comment and share and let your fellow warriors know that they are not alone. Family, friends, get on board, be their support, be their cheerleader, be in their corner for Christ's sake. Until next time, I love you all. I wish you all an LPD, and we'll talk again real soon. Until then, ciao for now. Bye.